Dr. Greg here again with another video. And this one I want to talk about the autonomic nervous system. And essentially, the autonomic nervous system is run from your brainstem. And the brainstem is key in terms of keeping your body in a steady state. In other words, the right kind of blood pressure, heart rate, all that kind of stuff, digestion, everything. Now, there's a war going on in your brain and your brainstem, and it's a war between the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. And those are the two systems that make up the autonomic nervous system. And it's run from your brain, from your brainstem essentially. And it's that way so that it could be done automatically so your higher brain doesn't have to think about it. So I have a chart here. I want you to look at this. And what I'm going to do is actually shut this light off because it's a little, there we go. I'm concerned with this part right here. And what I want you to see is I'm going to put a yellow marker or orange marker on the brainstem. Well, that's actually the middle of the brainstem. It goes a little bit longer than that. The brainstem comes from here all the way up here. Now, this right here, this orange spot, is a very important part, and I've talked about it before. It's where the PMRF resides. Now, the other part of the brainstem is called the midbrain, and it's a little higher up, right about there. Now, the midbrain is where something called the red nucleus resides. Now, para and sympathetic nervous systems, there's two systems. The autonomic nervous system has two systems. Now, this neurology textbooks and everything call it the headwater or the beginning of the sympathetic nervous system, right from the midbrain or the red nucleus, right there. This right here is the PMRF, which actually helps regulate the red nucleus or the headwaters or the beginning of the sympathetic nervous system with the parasympathetic nervous system. Now, two things can exist at the same time in your brain. Either one is turned on and the other's turned off, or vice versa. So when the sympathetic nervous system is on, the parasympathetic nervous system is suppressed, and vice versa. When the parasympathetic nervous system is on, the sympathetic nervous system is suppressed. Now, this is very important to understand why the system works this way and why we actually have a lot of problems in our society today. Heart rate, heart disease, diabetes, digestion problems, sleep problems, immune deficiency problems, all that kind of stuff. And I've talked about sitting, I've talked about fear, and now I'm going to talk about our mucosal membranes. Now, our mucosal membranes, which are in our nose and our mouth, are your first line of defense against any kind of foreign invaders, right? And they're located, obviously, in your mouth, but they're innervated, or they're run by the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system, not the sympathetic nervous system. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system is regulated and influenced by the PMRF. The sympathetic, we know, is influenced by the red nucleus. So the red nucleus and the PMRF are sort of at battles with each other to try and balance things out. Your body wants balance. So the sympathetic nervous system is there to get you out of a bad situation. The parasympathetic nervous system is there to heal, to digest, to protect you in terms of foreign invaders into your body and stuff like that. I'm talking about mucosal membranes in your mouth, your nose, also lining your stomach. All that is run by the parasympathetic nervous system. So it's important for that nervous system to work properly in order for your mucosal membranes to work properly, since they are the first line of defense against any invaders. Now, here's the situation. We're in a very stressful situation. We have fear, we sit too much, and I'm going to talk about other situations that we're not doing that actually suppress the PMRF or make it weaker, which actually makes the sympathetic nervous system stronger. Remember, when one is weak, the other is strong. And that's happening to us. And what's happening is that the sympathetic nervous system is doing all the things that it's supposed to do. And it makes your heart rate faster, it makes your blood pressure go up, it makes digestion harder, you don't sleep as well at night. All that stuff is run by your sympathetic nervous system because it's there to get you out of a bad situation. However, when we are in a situation where we perceive it bad, it actually can be really harmful to us, to our bodies. So the parasympathetic, the PMRF, is important to make these mucosal membranes function normally. Now, when they don't function normally, you're more susceptible to bad bugs that come into your life. So when the parasympathetic nervous system is suppressed, it doesn't help defend and mobilize your mucous membranes in order to fight off these invaders. This is one of the pieces. There are other pieces to the diet and all that type of stuff, but sitting, stress, all that kind of stuff suppresses the PMRF. The other interesting thing about PMRF, which I'm going to talk is that in other videos, is that it deals with pain. It's sort of like the gateway for pain. It allows pain to get through, or it doesn't allow the pain to get through. So all of these things are very important. So we're going to talk about mucosal membranes and how healthy they will be if your parasympathetic nervous system is strong, and how weak they will be if your parasympathetic nervous system is weak. That's all for now. This is Dr. Greg, changing the way we look at health.